Peter Parker intends to ask Mary Jane Watson to marry him, as she has recently debuted in a Broadway musical. As the two observe the sky in Central Park, a meteorite crashes close by and an alien symbiote trails Peter to his home by latching onto his motorcycle. Harry Osborn, aware of Peter's actual identity, aims to avenge his father Norman's death. Utilizing his father's performance-enhancing gas and Green Goblin tech, he fights Peter to a draw, experiencing partial amnesia. In the meantime, authorities chase escaped prisoner Flint Marko, who sees his wife and ill daughter before escaping once more. After tumbling into an experimental particle accelerator that merges his body with the nearby sand, he acquires the power to manipulate sand and reshape his form with it. At a celebration recognizing Spider-Man for rescuing Gwen Stacy, Peter kisses her, which infuriates Mary Jane. Concurrent with this, Marko steals from an armored vehicle and flees after effortlessly overpowering Spider-Man. Captain George Stacy of the NYPD tells Peter and Aunt May that Marko is the actual murderer of Uncle Ben. The primary suspect was Marko's partner in crime. In his apartment, while Peter dozes in his Spider-Man costume anticipating Marko's reappearance, the symbiote fuses with the suit. Peter eventually wakes up on a building, realizing that the symbiote has turned his suit black and boosted his abilities. Nonetheless, it also reveals the negative aspect of his character. Spider-Man finds and confronts Marko in an underground tunnel. Realizing that water is Marko's vulnerability, he unseals a pipe, letting water flow that turns Marko into mud and sweeps him away. Peter's altered behavior distances Mary Jane, who is facing difficulties in her job due to her show getting unfavorable reviews from critics. She experiences a heartfelt moment with Harry yet departs feeling remorseful. Prompted by a vision of his father, Harry regains his memory and compels Mary Jane to end her relationship with Peter. After Mary Jane informs Peter that she loves someone else, Harry encounters Peter and asserts he is that individual. Affected by the symbiote, Peter eventually challenges Harry about this and maliciously claims that his father never cared for him. Another conflict arises as Harry hurls a pumpkin bomb at Peter, who redirects it, leaving Harry's face disfigured. At the Daily Bugle, Peter reveals competitor photographer Eddie Brock, whose forged images show Spider-Man as a lawbreaker. Publisher J. Jonah Jameson lets Brock go and elevates Peter to a staff photographer position. Subsequently, Peter takes Gwen to a jazz venue where Mary Jane currently performs. Peter fervently dances a tango with Gwen in front of Mary Jane to elicit her jealousy. Gwen, understanding this, expresses regret to Mary Jane and departs. Following an attack on the bouncers and unintentionally striking Mary Jane, Peter ultimately understands that the symbiote is tainting him. Seeking refuge in a church's bell tower and discovering that the sharp sounds of ringing metal diminish the creature's strength, Peter detaches the symbiote. Nonetheless, Brock tracks him down and takes on the symbiote as its new host. As Venom, Brock finds a surviving Marko and persuades him to team up to eliminate Spider-Man. Brock kidnaps Mary Jane and confines her at a construction site using a web, while Marko distracts the police. Once Harry declines to assist Peter, he ultimately discovers the reality of Norman's demise from his butler. As Brock and Marko hold Peter down, Harry shows up with his Green Goblin gadgets to assist Peter and rescue Mary Jane. Subsequently, Brock tries to stab Peter using Harry's glider, but Harry intervenes and ends up getting impaled. Recalling the symbiote's vulnerability, Peter constructs a barrier of metal pipes to launch a sonic assault, thus diminishing its strength and enabling him to detach Brock from the symbiote. Peter sets off a pumpkin bomb from Harry's glider and hurls it at the symbiote. Brock, now dependent on its power, tries to rescue the symbiote and is ultimately obliterated with it. Later, Marko reveals that Ben's passing was an accident that has tormented him since, stating that all his actions were aimed at assisting his ill daughter. Peter pardons Marko, enabling his getaway. Peter and Harry make amends before the latter succumbs to his injuries. Sometime after Harry's funeral, Peter goes to see Mary Jane at the jazz club she works at. They make amends and enjoy a dance together.